This is the exact framework I've used to come up with 4 very different ideas for my multi-million-dollar e-commerce brands. This process will help you not only come up with a product to sell, but also help you create more clarity around your brand vision, something you'll return to again and again. So first up, if you already have a product on the market, this lesson will be equally as important for you because it's going to get you thinking about your brand in an entirely new way, so definitely pay attention here. So right now, you're probably thinking, Gretta, what do you even mean by a problem-first approach to ideation? So what I mean here, in its simplest state, is that your product should be the solution to a problem. And this is the very first thing to know before starting an e-commerce brand. You're not just creating a product, you're solving a problem. Something that I've said time and time again is that the world doesn't need more products. What it does need is better solutions to existing problems. So rather than asking yourself, what product can I sell? Instead, ask yourself, what problem can I solve? By flipping this thinking on its head, from finding a product to finding a problem, is important for several reasons. First up, if we're thinking differently to others, we're more likely to come up with something different and better than what's already out there. So this method gives you the opportunity to find a better solution to the problem than other standard products on the market. Also, if your product is solving an existing problem that your target market or customer already experiences, you know it's going to add value and be of value to them. And using a problem-first approach will also make it easier down the track to create more products that make sense for your brand, because you'll always have that starting point or brand vision to work from. In fact, coming up with a solution before you know the product you're solving can actually be seriously detrimental to innovation. Once you have a solution in mind, it's really hard to shift from that, even if you know in your gut that it might not be the best possible one. It's a little like answering a question before you know what the question even was. Even if you take a good guess, it's always going to be a little bit off the mark. Identifying the problem that you want to solve before making your product will make sure that you never lose sight of what your brand is trying to achieve or end up with a product that does miss the mark. Finding your problem and coming up with multiple solutions means that you're better equipped to find the best possible product for your brand to sell. So what we want to do here is find a problem that you already know exists, or better yet, you've experienced yourself. This is what I often refer to as scratching your own itch. That means you've felt the pain point yourself, so you're better able to empathize with your target audience. Ideally, the problem that you're looking to solve will be in a niche or area that you're truly passionate about, as this is going to be something that you want to be able to do day in, day out for the foreseeable future. So let's use an example that I've spoken about on Foundr's YouTube channel before. Something I'm truly interested in is protecting our shared environment for future generations. My interest in this might stem from the fact that my mum is a little bit of a hippie. She's taken to doing things like lining her bin with old newspaper instead of plastic bags, and she religiously takes her own reusable bags to the supermarket, including the ones that you put your fruit and veggies in to be weighed. So a huge environmental issue is our unprecedented production of waste, both landfill and recyclable. So the problem I'd like my brand to solve is decreasing waste from everyday disposable items. A good way to come up with your solution here is by turning your problem into a question, and your solution will be the answer to that question. So the question could be, how do I decrease waste from everyday disposable items? And one answer would be to make those items reusable. And this is something that I do a lot when coming up with solutions. I come up with a problem and ask myself what the polar opposite of that problem would be. Like I said here, the opposite of disposable is reusable. This is another strategy that you can use. So we have our problem, the waste from disposable everyday items, and our solution, making them reusable. Now we want to have a bit of a brainstorm around what some of these disposable everyday items could be that we could make reusable. And this is going to help us come up with some potential product ideas. So now let's start thinking of some items that you use daily, are disposable, that you could make reusable. So the first things that come to mind just off the top of my head are razors, toothbrushes, takeaway coffee cups, or straws. So now you want to begin to have a think and do some research around each of these potential product ideas in terms of what you think has the biggest market potential and which aren't being done as well as others by other brands. So let's fast forward and go for the item of those which has the least market saturation, which is disposable straws. Then we want to focus in and start to do some additional research around our problem and solution. So we want to look at some facts and figures that you can focus on to highlight the problem of disposable straws. So apparently an estimated 500 million straws are used each day in the US alone. This is a powerful number and will help your potential customer instantly understand the importance of making a change. Then you want to highlight the fact that plastic straws cannot be recycled and that they sit in our landfill for years or pollute our waterways. So you're starting to create a compelling reason for your prospective customer to switch to a reusable straw by getting them to understand and even empathize with the problem. If you felt the pain point yourself, you're not only going to be more motivated to solve it, but you're actually going to be more equipped to solve it as well. If you ask yourself your problem as a question, your solution can be the answer. Or another approach is thinking of the polar opposite of your problem. For example, disposable and reusable, dehydration and hydration, or in the case of Skinny Me Tea, toxins and detox. If you're stuck on ideas, you can look at websites like Trend Hunter or Kickstarter, for example. On Trend Hunter, you can search according to a category you're interested in. You could be like, okay, I'm interested in health and wellness. Then you can go into the health category and maybe look at some of the top trends for that month in the health and wellness space, or you can see if anything really catches your eye. For me, obviously, if detox teas was written down, I would have found that really interesting, and I would have tried to think about some of the ways that I could solve that problem differently to what was already being presented. Another good place to do some research once you have a general idea is Pinterest. You can type in things like the benefits of hydration or dehydration or detox tea recipes and look at some of the DIY tips and trends there. So as an action item, I'd like you to come up with 5 broad problems that you're looking to solve. You'll see why I've asked you to come up with 5 ideas very soon, but a hint is that not every product is necessarily going to be viable for e-commerce. So go ahead, do that now, and I'll see you in the next lesson.
The Foundr mission is to help you create an ass-kicking business and help you learn straight from the mouths of world-class founders. Get your free printed edition of Foundr magazine featuring Sir Richard Branson. Just cover shipping and handling at foundr.com/Branson.